of topics we're going to get warmed up about. But first, let's go. We got a lot of topics today, so I don't want to sit here and waste too much time, even though I definitely do enjoy the intro, but I need energy for the rest of the show, so I don't want to expend it. Good morning, everyone. MD Podcast, Kevin Hurt, Brian Sherrard, Sunday morning. We're here on StreamYard and YouTube. That way you subscribe and like us, and we would greatly appreciate that and have any feedback. We're also on the Twitter, and we're on IG and Facebook at M1MD Podcast. We're here on StreamYard. We also have Spreaker and Stitcher apps. We're at Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Probably be there longer than Joe Rogan. Who knows? Wherever you find podcasts, you will find the NY to MD Podcast. Good morning, man.
What's going on, man? What is going on?
I don't know. The volume is high for some reason. I got to turn mine down. There we go. Coming in loud, coming in hot. Loud. So I know we're gonna be getting loud today. So I gotta turn that down now. So, but good, man. We got a lot to talk about. Of course, 99.999% of it's gonna be football. But of course, and we're gonna cover this more in depth next week. But the Olympics started. The ceremony was Friday. The Winter Olympics. I know you're not like a big winter person. Like in general, I don't even think you like winter. So I'm not a big winter Olympics person. But what is your favorite Olympic event? Winter Olympic event, I should say.
Probably the same as everybody else except yours. I know yours is curling, probably.
Damn right. All day, every day. Curling is my jam.
I ice skate, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, ice skating is probably next to last on mine. I mean, last night I was watching the biathlon, skiing and shooting, which I can't do either. It's just, I credit them for going and doing it that long. We came in, and it was the men's relay, and we came in sixth. So we were close. But we didn't medal in that one. But it was a pretty good showing. If he hit that last shot before the final sprint, I think we would have had a chance to get at least a bronze. But it was, and that finish to that biathlon was crazy because Russia was leading. It was like less than 100 yards left. I don't know how France slipped in, then Norway slipped in ahead of Russia, man. But it's so crazy when you the difference between winning and losing something. Like France won, of course, they got the gold, happy, elated. Norway with the silver, happy, elated. Russia, or the Russia Olympic Committee, whatever they want to be called, dude just crumpled to the ground like he just started crying, coming in third. It's just so sad. It's just so sad. But, like they always say, it was that Wild World of Sports, the agony of defeat. So you get a medal, but it's not the medal that he was in position to win. So I know you got gold in your mind, you ain't know bronze. I know that still got to hurt. So, but yeah, man, I was watching mixed doubles for curling last night. Just so loved it. We were winning 8-7. Yeah, we were winning 8-7 in the last end against Czechoslovakia. They just came down with a nice play and scored 3, and we lost. Man, it came down to a wire. So, and it was a round robin, so we're still alive. But that loss hurt. That loss hurt. So yeah, I can't.
Have you been watching the Olympics actively?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, but I'm not a figure skating person. I used to like figure skating when I knew the people in it. I don't really know the people, and that's not as we had the Debbie Thomases and not the whole drama between Nancy Kerrigan and like we had names. Now I'm just like,
yeah.
Like the snowboarding, I was never really into. Only thing I liked was the downhill, just the jump. Like I just remember that dude Eddie the Eagle from Britain. It was like everybody used to just cheer for the dude. He was like the best for. I don't know if he's the best for Britain, but that dude was terrible. But he was always out there trying. Huh?
Didn't they make a movie about that dude?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I think Hugh Jackman was in it.
So I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, it was. Yeah, I enjoyed the Winter Olympics. I was watching the luge, and that was pretty cool. I just can't laying down, going down in that thing as fast as they're going, trying to control it's just I just respect so many different things that I know that I don't do or haven't done or probably will never do. So there's always so much respect for that. So, but yes, so it started before the opening ceremony. The opening ceremony I think was Friday morning. I recorded it. I haven't watched it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I want to see Jamaica come out. I think that's the biggest thing because they have a couple athletes competing. So it's always cool when you get like a Caribbean island nation competing. So I look forward to that. But let's transition over to one of our favorite things, football. We had the championship games last weekend. I know. Did you get to watch them at all?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I watched them. Watched both of them.
Okay, cool. So, dude, I just have to say, and it seemed like they were so long ago now.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were like weeks ago instead of just last week. Because I know we have another week until the Super Bowl, of course, but it's so weird because I'm like, when I was sitting here about to start talking about it, I'm like, how long ago was that? I'm like, well, but both games were decided by 3 points. The home team won 1, then the away team won 1. But let's talk about the first game, overtime. Your boy, the team you say is fitted with destiny. They're inevitable. The Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, man.
And your boy, Joey Showtime Joe or January Joe.
Hey, there's only one January Joe. Don't.
Oh, that's true. All right. Well, I mean, I don't even know. There's so many Joes that have won and done well. So we got to think of another name for Joe Burrow. But hey, listen, he won a chip in January. And he could win another one in February. So we don't even know. He could be February Joe soon. No, it could be that. But first, the Bengals over the Chiefs. Give me your overall assessment and what you thought of the game.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing they play 2 halves, Hurt.
Yeah, I know, right?
After the first half, I mean, what was it, 21-3?
21-10.
21.
It was 21-3, but they'd scored in that second quarter to make it, but it looked like it was going to be a runaway.
Yeah. Nah, man, but that Cincinnati defense, man, I mean, they shut down the Chiefs. Shut them down in the second half.
Oh, yeah, they only scored 3 points.
Yeah, and that 3 points was, I think, the last drive of the game for Kansas City, if memory serves me correct. But no, man, it was just a great game. Look, Cincinnati wasn't going to be scared. They beat them earlier.
They ain't scared. They weren't scared.
Yeah, they beat them earlier in the year. And granted, it was at home, but they weren't scared. They put, like you said, it was 21-10 going into halftime, so they were able to get a touchdown, bring it to 11. 11-point deficit with a half left is not bad at all. You can overcome that. But like I said, the key was stopping the Kansas City offense. And they did. Oh, and Hurt, guess what? Guess who got the ball first in overtime, Hurt?
Would be Kansas City.
Oh, really?
Yes.
But I thought there's, so much emphasis on the coin toss, and we need to change that rule.
Well, you know what had happened, right?
What? Why don't you enlighten me, Hurt? What had happened?
Well, Cincinnati decided in overtime, instead of letting them drive down the field and score, they played defense.
Wow. Really? What's defense?
What? They played defense. They played defense so well. They took the ball out of the air from the quarterback of Kansas City and gave the ball to their own offense.
Oh, okay.
It's weird that happens. I didn't know that could occur. Did you?
Wow. Dude, I thought the game was over once Kansas City had the ball, dude. Because I didn't think Cincinnati had a defense on the field.
Well, the pressure of the coin toss.
Yeah.
It nearly melted underneath the weight.
That is why that argument is so dumb. Like we've been saying this. There's 3 sides to football. You know what I'm saying?
Three sides.
Right. And defense is a big part of it. If you want to get the ball back, all the defense has to do is stop them from scoring a touchdown. It's quite simple. So, yeah. So, they just took that argument. That argument just went right away. But no, man, props to Cincinnati, man. Joe Burrow played well under pressure. And Mahomes didn't really. I mean, when it comes down to it,
Mahomes, he had Mahomes 26 of 39, 275, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Joe Burrow 23 of 38, 250, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Was only sacked 1 time.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a good game, man. It was a good game, and Cincinnati came out on top, and they got to do it on Arrowhead Field at Gayha Stadium or whatever they call that place now.
GEHA.
So,
but no, yeah, it was. Listen, that was an exciting game. I thought the game was over, like most people, because it was really Kansas City just came bumbling out. I think that last touchdown Cincinnati scored before the half was over, gave them the confidence. Because after that, like you said, they took the lead in the second half. And it was that last drive for Kansas City to come down there to get a field goal to tie the game. And then, of course, they won the coin toss. But I guess Cincinnati just didn't lay down in overtime, because I swear teams should be able to play both sides of the ball in overtime, right? Even though they lost the coin toss, they didn't get deflated, I guess, which is weird because other teams get deflated and then they want 2 possessions or hold them to a field goal. I mean, but guess what? They played defense. They stopped them, got the ball back, kick a field, because then after that, once you intercept it, it's next score wins. Next score wins. And they scored and they won. And they're going to the Super Bowl.
It's just right. It's cool, man. It was cool. That was an entertaining game. Overtime,
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was fun. It was fun to watch.
Were you surprised though that Cincinnati shut them down in the second half like that?
Yeah. Because they were steamrolling in the first half. I mean, they literally, again, just seeing Kansas City do Kansas City stuff in the first half.
Right.
And in the second quarter is when they scored 14, but they were just moving the ball down. And I honestly say that momentum change, because it was 21-3. And I'm like, man, this is going to get bad. But that last Houday touchdown in the second quarter, I think just like, okay, we can do this. Then they scored 11 points in the third, shut out KC in the third. And again, they took the lead. Got another field goal, and KC had to come back and hit another field goal in order to just tie the game up at 24. So it's huge. It was huge, but it was a very exciting game. I enjoyed it. So and the better team, as we see in these games, better teams going to the Super Bowl. Yeah. So congrats to Houday Nation. The Kings of the North are going to the Super Bowl, man. So. And congrats to them. Congrats to all the fans, since they haven't been there since '88. It's cool when you get moments of teams that haven't been there. Joe Burrow is just Joe Burrow. He's that dude. And even if this is the only Super Bowl they go to or something, I think there's just a magical ride that I always say, even though, win, lose, or draw, you got to remember these moments. And I know it's hard, especially if you lose, because I still can't get over a 2015 World Series. but it's you got to be able to get over it and enjoy it. Not saying that they're going to lose because we're going to go through the game plan next week for the Bengals and the winner of the other game, which we're going to announce, which everybody knows in a minute. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. All these postseasons have come down to last second field goals, overtime. None of these games are blowouts. I mean, they were all close, and everyone was excited. This is one of the best postseasons in NFL that I've ever watched, where every game was just like this. I mean, both championship games were 3 points. Usually somebody melts in this situation and gets blown out, and that didn't happen the whole playoff.
Nah. Well, that first week we got a couple blowouts, first round, but other than that, it was pretty good.
Well,
yeah, Buffalo killed New England, and somebody else blew out somebody.
But yeah, they did kill New England. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
1,000% right.
All right, man. Well, what about this second game?
Welp. That second game, very excited about. Yeah, the Bucks killed the Eagles. Yeah, you're right.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was the Bucks. Yeah,
Chiefs killed the Steelers.
Yeah.
So that next weekend that was really good.
Yeah.
But going back to the NFC Championship game, we had the Rams at home, which was actually a home game. It was like a 50-50 home game for them, which was exciting.
Yeah.
Their fans actually showed up against San Francisco. And this is another game where the team who has won 6 in a row in this series went into halftime. They were winning 10-7. Then they scored another touchdown. It was 17-7 before the fourth quarter started, man, and it was not looking good. It was not looking good for the Rams, man. And I'm like, I picked the Rams, but that whole state, San Francisco, has a hold on them that I can't understand. And I think for those first 3 quarters, that's how the Rams were feeling. But somehow, some way, in that fourth quarter, they scored 13 points, including a last-second field goal. And bada bing, bada boom, the Rams are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And look, man, I gave what's his name, Matt Stafford, a lot of stuff, man. But look, before this year, I think he was 0-3 in the playoffs. Now he's 3-0 this year, and he took his team to a Super Bowl, man. Hey, I can't say, there's nothing I can really say, man. I mean, he did what he was brought there to do, and he's had a great team around him. But I can't take that away from him because he's doing what he's supposed to do. So, for the second year in a row, we're gonna have the Super Bowl in a team's home stadium, which I think is cool. But hey, man, look, got to give the Rams defense credit, but you got to give Matt Stafford a lot of credit, man. Got to give him a lot of credit. And you know what? Well, as much stuff that I give him, I feel happy for him. You know what I mean? Being in Detroit all that time and doing absolutely nothing. Now he comes to LA and he's going to a Super Bowl, man. That's cool. That's pretty cool, man.
Sometimes it's just a change of scenery. that helps. Change of scenery, change of coach. Well, change of feeling. You got to remember, being in a place
change of player.
Change
of players.
Yeah. The whole feeling, the whole organization has never done this, right? So to me, it's hard to change the DNA. And he went to a coach, he went to a system, he went to a place that put all the. Now was underneath a lot of pressure this season because the whole reason he was brought there is to make it to this point and to win. So to get to this point, for them to trade for Von Miller, all the trades that they did to have everybody is to win this. You had to perform, and he was 31 of 45, 337, 2 touchdowns, an interception. Their running game was okay. Cam Akers had 13 for 48. They really shut down the running game for San Francisco.
Yeah.
They didn't even have one. Debo was their leading rusher, 7 carries for 26 yards. Jimmy was, in his last game as a 49er, was 16 of 30 for 232, 2 touchdowns and an interception. So, which I think it was actually his best game of the postseason, because before then he had 0 touchdowns. So at least he threw 2. But it was Cooper Kupp had a great game, 11 receptions, 142 yards. OBJ had a great game, 9 receptions, 113 yards. So it was a good game. I had fun watching this game too. I was weird. I was nervous. I did not want San Francisco going to the Super Bowl would have just been boring to me. Really would have been boring. Wouldn't have been all these storylines. It would have been about Jimmy G and blah blah blah. Now it's about the Rams going back. It's about Matthew Stafford. It's just about the team. Cooper Kupp hugging Woods coming out because he was out for the year, and them hugging, and they're like, man, this is for you. We're doing this for you, brother. And just that team camaraderie and that feeling is just something special. So I love that about sports. It's one thing, just like people, there for each other, man. So I enjoyed it. The Rams, you get that 49er off their back. They're in the Super Bowl. So next week's where we're going to spend a lot of time breaking everything down. But I know who you're picking, and I know you know who I'm picking. But
I do know who you're picking.
Oh yeah, you know who I'm picking.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You know I like cats. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
I don't know. But Detroit will be represented in the Super Bowl by Matthew Stafford and Eminem. So that is important to remember. But it's cool that Detroit does have Matthew Stafford's back, and I heard a lot of people in Detroit are celebrating the fact that he's there, and which to me is good because he put a lot of heart and soul into that team, and and got ridiculed by a lot of people for being there, for just having all these empty stats and all this other stuff. But it's a culture. It's a culture, and good for him. But I'm glad this story is going to be fun. It's like, remember Super Bowl day. It's going to be these stories starting at 2:00 till game time.
Yeah.
And I love that, though. I don't watch anything else but Super Bowl, the stories. And, dude, this is so much fun. They go to, somebody's high school coach or junior high. For some reason, these people live forever. I don't know how they find these dudes, second grade teacher, I knew Joe was going to be special when he was young. He always would lead the class, and he was always telling everybody to be quiet and sit down. He was a good learner. You know what I mean? Like Mrs. Appleworth or something. Joe's second. How's she still alive? She's 103. Giving interviews. I love stuff like that. You know what I mean? Aaron Donald's second trip and how, he needs to get that ring to solidify his career. In his, for him, in his mind. So it's cool, man. I love the stories. what else are you going to do on Super Bowl day except absorb the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Absorb it. Just take it all in, man. Just take it all in. Now, again, I really wish Super Bowl was on Saturday. It's the only thing I just want to change that. If it was on a Saturday, I would thoroughly enjoy it so much more because I don't have to worry about going to work the next day. So,
okay.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. I'm excited about it. Can't wait to delve into that next week, man, with the NY to MD podcast Super Bowl special.
Yes, sir.
So going from special, and I want to get this done now because we have some other news to come out that's not as, to me, important as what we're going to talk about. But we have lawsuits came out this week from Brian Flores about the NFL and the hiring processes of black head coaches. And I know we felt some type of way before this came out, honestly.
Yeah.
And, I think it's something that we didn't really need to delve into. So I want to start with you. You know, just what did you think about the lawsuit? Were you surprised by it? And just your feeling on the hiring practices in the NFL for minority head coaches.
All right. So what happened this week? Monday or Tuesday, I forget. We get breaking news that Brian Flores is suing the NFL. He's suing the Denver Broncos. He's suing the New York Giants.
Yep.
And were the Dolphins in that lawsuit as well?
Yes.
All right. Sounds like the dude's fed up. First of all, this was shocking when this lawsuit came out because I'm like, isn't he still a candidate for some jobs? I remember hearing his name in Houston.
Yep.
Then come to find out he's interviewing for the Saints. I didn't even know he was interviewing for the Saints. But basically, in his lawsuit, he's alleging racial discrimination with the NFL's hiring practices when it comes to head coaches. Made some pretty strong allegations. He says when he was interviewing to get his first job, he went to Denver. John Elway and another executive showed up late. They looked disheveled, may have been drinking the night before. He says when he was in Miami.
Or that morning.
Yeah. He was in Miami. He claims that Stephen Ross said, look, you lose some games, I'm gonna pay you $100,000 for each loss. Of course, the Dolphins were trying to get the number one pick that year for either Joe Burrow or Tua. So that was Brian Flores' first year. But I think this is what really set him off. He has text messages from Bill Belichick congratulating him for getting the Giants job. Flores is like, oh, wait, coach, that's news to me. Congratulations. I think I got a shot, coach. And he's getting these texts from Belichick and stuff just not adding up. He's like, yeah, I got an interview on Thursday. I think I got a shot. Then he realizes, wait a minute, coach, are you talking to Brian Daboll? Or are you talking to Brian Flores? And Belichick, he had the wrong Brian he was texting.
And believe me, from someone who knows a Brian, I do have you in the phone as like Black Brian. So this way I won't get it confused. Just in case I don't have any white Brian friends, but if I did, that's how I would separate it on the phone. That was a meme going around. I know we're not going to get too much laughter in this whole thing when we start talking about it. But that to me was the best meme. Like, oh, let me change my phone. White Brian, Black Brian.
Oh man.
But yes, the text messages were a big thing.
Man, this dude could come up with defenses to shut down high-powered offenses, but he can't text the right Brian. Come on, man.
But listen, that happens.
I know.
This is the crazy thing is, you know how many times you get a text like, wait, what the heck? Somebody just said that?
Yeah, I did that. Remember?
Oh yeah. But it's like a big thing, not like a little thing like, oh hey, what time are you going to the movies? Oh my bad, it's like texting somebody like, oh man, I want a divorce. Like what? Oh, that's not me, sir. Oh my, I had K's, Karen, Kevin. My bad, I meant to text it to Karen. Well, sorry for your, whatever. But yeah, that was a big thing. But keep going.
No, man, but so I think that's what set off Flores, right? He had a couple things. This dude's like, wait a minute, I got an interview 3 days from now, but this coach, Belichick's congratulate me already. So Belichick already knows Daboll's getting the job. Why does Belichick even know that, first of all? Second of all, it just goes to show you that, these dudes want to hire who they want. They already know who they want to hire.
Oh yeah,
right? They're going to sit, but this guy's got to sit through a sham interview to fulfill the Rooney Rule, and dude, it's just frustrating, man. It's just frustrating, and I think he just got fed up. He's like, you know what? Screw this. I'm sick of this, and I think he's frustrated because he shouldn't have been fired in the first place, Hurt. He shouldn't have been fired in the first place. Okay, we got to throw the first year of Miami out because Steve Ross wanted to lose. Bottom line, he wanted to lose. We actually went to the first game of the Brian Flores era.
First game.
And dude, now in retrospect, I have to look at that game a lot differently, yo. Because were they trying? Well, I know the players were trying, but
they were trying, but that was.
But were the coaches really putting them in position to win that game?
Dude, there was no position that they could have won that game. We know that first season they literally had nothing on that team.
Right.
Yeah. I mean but as the season went along, they improved.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. That first game, forget about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, and I got to go back and look. But if I were to go back and look, I think those first 8 games or something like that, or 6 games, they were like 0-6. But if I remember correctly, they ended off the season like 5-5 or something like that. They were I remember there was a point where it seemed like a light switch went off.
Yeah,
they were like, you know what, we're going to decide to win. And I kind of remember this. I need to go back and check, but I remember that season thinking, whoa, the Dolphins aren't as bad as I thought.
Exactly. No, I thought the same thing too, because they, like you said, from that first game where they get poached, and that you would think that team's going to end up at like 0-16.
Right.
You really did. That's how bad they got whooped. So you're just like, oh man, this is bad. This is not going to be good. And they end up being very competitive, after that. To, like you said, where they even got some wins on the board, and they were looking like something of a team forming underneath a first-time head coach.
Yeah.
So yeah, that second season they just missed the playoffs. They got 10 wins. This past season was weird. They started off terribly. And then they won like 8 in a row. Still finished with a 9-8 winning record. And then he was let go. And again, it could have been a personal. I think to me it was a rift with the general manager. Now the general manager is black. But a rift with the owner or something, but he was let go after their first back-to-back winning season since 2003.
Yeah.
And they still haven't hired a head coach yet. So there's that.
The 2019 season, the Dolphins lost their first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. And they ended up 5-11.
There you go.
So they had a winning record their last 9 games. I knew I wasn't crazy. But anyway, I just think that was the last straw. The text messages were the last straw for him. And he's like, I'm just sick of this. I'm going to do this lawsuit. I don't think it's a money grab. I think he really wants to enact change. The next day after news broke that he was filing a lawsuit, this dude was everywhere with his attorneys doing interviews. I was like, yeah, I mean, he was on MSNBC, he was on ESPN, and look, I will say this. What's his name? Mike Greenberg, is that his name?
Yeah.
Dude, that dude gave an excellent interview. Did you see the Mike Greenberg interview?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if that was
thorough. Greeny is thorough. I'll definitely give him that.
He was fair, but he wasn't throwing softballs up there either. He was playing devil's advocate. He gave I was so impressed with that interview that he gave. So here are my initial thoughts, right, with this lawsuit. I was like, oh boy, this is explosive stuff. When you see the text messages, I'm like, okay, there's some validity to this stuff. The more and more I thought about it, though, I was like, this lawsuit, based on this, I haven't read the lawsuit. Apparently, it's 58 pages long. I haven't read it, but just based on some of the allegations that they're alleging, I do think those allegations are really easy to kind of poke holes through. If you're the NFL and you want to defend this, I think there's a lot of ways to poke holes through a lot of this stuff. But I think the text messages are really bad. I mean, those are what they are. But the bottom line is, Brian Flores didn't have to step forward for us to know that there's a problem with hiring out minority coaches, head coaches, in the NFL. But like I said, I think he's doing this because he really wants to enact change. I mean, this dude had 2 interviews. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's still going to interview in Houston.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if he's come off the board. I'm sure he still has he still would want a job in NFL. But like you said, I think in that lawsuit, he gave different examples of the hiring processes in NFL. And one of those processes happens to be about your boy, Jim Caldwell, and how black coaches are treated. And just, or even, another offensive coordinator that you had, Collie down in Houston.
He wasn't an offensive coordinator.
Oh, what was he?
He's a wide receivers coach.
I meant offensive person, whatever.
Okay.
I knew he wasn't a coordinator. I knew he was offensive something, but coordinator came out because I thought of Caldwell when I was looking at Caldwell's name. But right. Yeah, he was still on the offensive side of the ball on your team. But a season with that trash that he had down. So a lot of those examples were in there. But Caldwell is the biggest example. He's a winning NFL head coach who hasn't coached in the last 4 years. I don't even know if he's been on a staff since he was let go from Detroit.
I think he's been a consultant, but the thing with Caldwell, though, I could be wrong, but I think he's had health issues.
Or it could be true. But, he still should have a job, to me. He still should be in the NFL.
But what no.
Besides the health issues.
Yeah. But because I think he's like 66 years old, and I think he was in the running for a job, but I think he pulled himself out because of health stuff.
You mean for this year, or
no, not this year, but like since he's been fired.
Okay, well here he interviewed January 4th for Jacksonville. As we know, he didn't get that job. He interviewed the 15th for the Bears, and he didn't get that job. So he had a second interview with the Bears. So he actually came back as in the coaching circles. So I guess he's healthy enough. He's come back and have these round of interviews. And he has, and again, there's still job openings. I think there's still at least 3. I know there's Miami, there's New Orleans, and Houston. But I haven't seen that he's interviewed at those places. But again, I know you always bring up the Lions.
Yeah.
I feel it's always been the most egregious thing that he was fired in Indianapolis. That to me was utter trash. That's the one that always makes me angry.
He got fired because Peyton Manning got freaking hurt. Okay. The year Peyton Manning had his surgery and was out for the year, they went like 1-15.
2-14.
Oh, 2-14. And he fired him. But Hurt, what was his record the year before that?
Wait. Oh, you mean the year after they went to the Super Bowl? Because his first year as head coach, they were 14-2. Could have been 16-0, but they rested Peyton.
Right.
And they lost in the Super Bowl. So the next year, they won a division. They lost. They did get upset by the Jets in the conference, not the conference championship, but in the playoffs. I think it was the divisional round. And then that next season was the 2-14. Peyton's hurt. We have nobody else on this team. I got stuck with Curtis Painter. And they let him go.
Right.
Oh my God.
And it doesn't make any sense. Whatever. I can't.
But dude, that right there is why I have more of an issue with Indianapolis than Detroit. I'm not saying I agree with the Detroit thing. I'm not. But this dude took you to a Super Bowl. You were in the playoffs in the year after that. Yes, you were upset by a lesser team. That happens. The next season, you're the guy who's the team's built around is hurt. Marvin Harrison's not playing. You have we remember that team. There was nobody on that team.
Dude, that team sucked.
And not only that, they wanted to lose to get to Andrew
Andrew
Luck.
Luck.
And they did. And then after the season, sorry, you got to go. Now, after that, again, the whole thing in Detroit happened, but it almost the same thing happened to Tony Dungy in Tampa. And it's egregious. Again, we have had 2 black general managers hired this season.
Yeah, real quick, I don't want to say I don't mind the Tony Dungy one, but Tony Dungy had his chance, man. You understand? Tony Dungy was with Tampa for a minute. To me, the Tony Dungy firing wasn't as egregious because he was there for a minute, and they felt like he had hit his ceiling. So I don't want to say I don't have a problem with it, but I think the Tony Dungy firing was more fair. But the Jim Caldwell, both firings were egregious to me. Like you said, were wrong. Yeah. Think about it. Okay, so we're gonna do some math. Well, not some math. We're gonna think about it.
I was like, please not math. You know how I feel about math.
The longest tenured black head, and I'm just thinking off the top of my head, the longest tenured black head coaches we've had this millennium have been Tony Dungy. I forget how long was he in Tampa, like 5-6 years?
5 years, yeah, 96 to 01.
Yeah. And then he was in Indianapolis, what, 10 years?
He
might not have even been there that long, maybe 8 years or something like that. But anyway.
But he won a Super Bowl there.
Right.
Yeah, he was there from 02 to 08. There
you go. So he was there 7 seasons. Okay. So then you have Mike Tomlin, who's been with Pittsburgh since the beginning of time, it seems like.
Yeah, I know, right? That dude, since the Steelers were born, I feel like Mike Tomlin has been there. Like if it spanned like 300 years, I feel like Chuck Noll. What's that other guy? I always forget his name.
Bill Power, right?
And then Mike Tomlin.
Right. Now the other one who is a true outlier is Marvin Lewis, who was on the Bengals for like 14 years.
Now that's the only person who I thought,
right,
especially as a black head coach, like you can let him go.
It's right.
Okay. He's never going to win a playoff game.
I believe he was.
They start. I give them credit. I will give them credit.
Right. I give Mike Brown and them credit because they stuck with Marvin Lewis. Like I said, too long because I think he was 0-7 in the playoffs while during his tenure with the Bengals. But these are the exceptions. Hurt. You know what I mean?
No. But most of them end up like David Culley down in Houston. Like my biggest issue is almost the most egregious part is the hirings or not the sham interviews like Brian Flores was talking about. How many times in the media it's leaked right away? Oh, we want Harbaugh to be coach, or we want Urban Meyer to be coach, or you already know where they're headed. So they'll just go, and most of them won't even get a big name black coordinator or head coach, former head coach. They'll make it their secondary coach or something like that. Oh, we're going to interview somebody in our staff. Because this is how it used to be. Especially when the Rooney Rule first started. Let's just interview someone from our staff just to meet the criteria. Even though we're not going to hire him, to go ahead and then, we did that, so now we're going to bring in whomever it is, the white guy.
Yeah.
Bring that person in every single time. So to me, the most egregious part of everything is the lack of respect is shown to the candidates that are being flown in. At least have a serious interview. Even in the back of your mind, you want, Doug Peterson or whatever coach. Sit down and take it seriously. The fact is that they don't take it seriously is a spit in the face of these guys who work hard to get to that point.
Right.
I wouldn't want to walk in somewhere. And we know we've been on interviews, and we know there's other candidates that we're facing, and we know some people may be the golden boy, and they may like somebody. But sit down and have some respect when you talk to them.
Right.
That's all we. The thing is, it's the whole respect thing. I know you may want to hire that guy over there, but bring me in, ask me the same questions, look at me the same way, and treat me with the respect that I deserve. I might surprise you. I might not, because you may want him anyway. I get it. We've all been through this. But don't come in there and treat it like it's a joke because you know you ain't going to hire me. That right there is what needs to stop. Yeah. That's the stuff that irks my whole soul more than anything, is bringing me in to just be like, no, okay, well, thank you. What I fly in here for? What am I here for?
Right.
What am I this suit for? What are you interviewing for? I know I heard. The thing is, the black candidates know that what they hear, it's everywhere. And they probably know way more than we do from the media because they work in the business. So they probably know this. They're headed, some organization wants to hire so-and-so and they want to hire so-and-so. But they're still going to go in there and be like, all right, you never know. Hey, I'm going to have a chance, until you don't give them one, until you treat them like they're secondary, until you treat them like they're tertiary. That's the whole thing. Just look at me with respect. You, again, there may be another candidate you may want. There may be more experience. But come in there and interview me like a man. I don't like just the whole, I'm bringing me in. Like you said, they're coming, they're showing up late. Lord knows, if any black candidate showed up to an interview late, my God, his career is done.
Right.
His ceiling is wherever it is at that point in time. We can't act that way, but we're just coming there. Oh, we had a couple of drinks. Hey, buddy, how are you? The hell is this interview? No, that's how they treat things. We can't be that way. We got to be on our game from day one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Day one.
Right.
I mean, again, that's just my biggest issue. Treat me with respect. And I think that's the part Brian Flores was talking about. No, you coming in here late. Now, you may not want to hire me, but it's not a joke to me. It's not a joke to him.
Right.
Come on now.
So let me ask you this. Do you think the NFL should keep the Rooney Rule?
I don't know what the NFL doesn't care, to be honest.
I'm asking you.
Yeah, I feel like the Rooney Rule only seems to be working for general managers recently. I don't know. There has been no black coaches hired, and we had 7 or 9 openings so far. I know there's still 3 left, but I don't know. I honestly, I'm tired of them saying they're going to tweak it, or there's going to be this, or I was having a conversation, and I think like the Ravens, Cully left the Ravens, so the Ravens got a 3rd rounder or something like that.
2 3rd-round picks. Yep.
2 3rd-round picks. And in the conversation, it was just a general conversation. They were just like, well, shouldn't the team that hires the black coach get the picks for hiring the black coach? I said, no. I was like, look what happened to David Culley. You're going to get the picks and then get rid of them?
Right.
And no, and in that case, you could say they don't get to keep the picks, but they shouldn't get it. You should go to a place that cultivates the people who make them coordinators, who make them secondary, who hired them in the first place to get to this point. That's what you got to do. The only reason we for us to be head coaches, we have to be coordinators. We have to have jobs. Period. And again, and I will bet you money, and I don't bet money. Maybe $1, because it's not like I'm balling over here. So maybe 50 cents. I don't know about that one. Again, and who was supposedly the number 1 candidate for the Jacksonville job?
I have no idea.
I mean, they went through 7 different people. I knew from day one, because it would have happened already, that they weren't hiring Brian Leftwich. That would have been as soon as that team lost that playoff game. He's a former player there, offensive coordinator, won a Super Bowl. That would have been a hire that Tuesday after they lost on that Sunday. It didn't happen.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? If Byron Leftwich wants to come back home to be the head coach, why wouldn't you hire him? He's
And
like,
now I'm not saying hiring Doug Peterson is a mistake. I'm not saying that. But my whole thing is, I knew they weren't going to hire him because they didn't do it right away. And that's the conversation I was having. I already knew. And I don't care what was going on in the media, like, well, Brian Leftwich is a candidate. No, he's not. I'm like, they would have hired him already. That would have been a done deal. Something happened. They weren't going to hire him. So now, who's left? Him, Eric Bieniemy. I don't even know if he interviewed this season because somehow, maybe he, I heard he doesn't interview well. Well, who does? I know. But you're going to just take away his suddenly he was hot, now he's cold? I'm confused. How did that happen? So those two guys will probably not be hired. Miami's not going to hire him. I feel Miami's going to hire the guy from the 49ers, I feel like. Houston, Mike McDaniel or something.
Okay.
I think because they hired Vance Joseph to be their assistant head coach and to probably replace him. So I have a feeling that's where the Dolphins are. So that's going to leave Houston and New Orleans. Now, Houston, the way they treated the last head coach, unless there's some guarantees involved, I don't know what direction they're heading. And I have no clue what the Saints are doing. So, but again, with all these hirings, again, and Kellen Moore was brought up. What the hell had Kellen Moore ever done? Seriously.
Don't even get me started with him, please.
I don't even want to talk about that.
We're not going there. Yeah. But so let me tell you my thoughts on this Rooney Rule real quick. I've always been an advocate for the Rooney Rule because my thoughts have always been just get me in the door and I will blow you away because that's like my attitude, right?
Of course.
If you get me in the door, I'm going to blow you away with my interview. With the interview, I'm going to blow you away, right? So I feel like just get me in the door. Y'all gonna be like, oh, dang, who's this dude? We gotta have this guy. But I'm done with the Rooney Rule, dude. It's because this just shows it's not doing what it was intended.
It's not being taken seriously.
It's not working, and it's just a sham. And we hear this every year. We hear the same names. Oh, bro, Jim Caldwell's interview. Come on, man. We know y'all just bringing them in for the Rooney Rule. You know what I mean? Remember Dennis Green, late great Dennis Green. He was getting calls. You would hear his name. It was only for Rooney Rule purposes. Who's another one they would always call? It's like a group. We were like, really? They're considering him? Then you realize, oh no, that's just Rooney Rule stuff. Yeah. So nah, man, I'm done with it. No, the NFL has to figure out this. Now, one thing I will say, in the NFL's defense, and this is another way that this lawsuit, they could poke holes in this lawsuit. The NFL has actively tried to fix this problem. Now, I don't know what their intentions are. You know what I mean? I don't know if they've just been trying to avoid litigation this whole time. I don't know if their hearts are pure. I don't know. I don't know if their true motivation. I don't know what their true motivation. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know what their true motivations are, but they have actively tried to fix this problem. They have tried to fix it. They've had committees on this. Remember? Well, like you said, first one they were, what was it, like 4 years ago? Hey, let's tie first round draft picks to this. They shot that down. Like you said, no, because that's just going to give teams incentives just to hire people just to hire them just for the pick. A first round pick's too valuable. That's not going to work. That cheapens it too. You know what I'm saying? So they shot that down. Then they did the developmental, then they did the third round picks from the teams that develop, which I think is more fair. So I just say all that to say, they instituted the Rooney Rule. Goodell comes out a lot. If you listen, especially it's around this time of year when he's doing like interviews, like during the Super Bowl, he says all the time, this is a problem we need to correct. We need to actively hire more minority candidates, blah, blah, blah. So the NFL has tried. They've been unsuccessful. The problem is, Hurt, you can't tell billionaires how to run their business. And
That's the problem.
who are going to hire?
Yes.
Dude, if I had $1 billion, Hurt, I'm going, and I own the team, guess what? You're not telling me who I'm going to hire. I'm going to hire who the heck I want.
No, well, you may have a conscience though. You may just, but again, you and I, there's none of us in that little organization of NFL owners. That's the whole thing. Like it was this part in the Hobbit, and I think it was Gandalf was being accosted by some of them, and he was trying to use his magic or something, and whoever he was fighting looked at him and it was like, "You have no power here." That's how I feel. But Goodell is the mouthpiece for the people in charge. Right. The owners are his boss. So, of course, it's like, hey, go out there and talk a good game. And we'll try to do some stuff. And there's people who, like a Rooney, who go out there and take it seriously. Like your owner, Bisciotti, who go out there and take this seriously. But there's owners who don't care, like mine and others who just like, whatever, like, okay, let's just do a sham interview because I want to go hire that guy. Again, I just, and again, the only minority owner is Shad Khan, who owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. But that's it. That's it. But no, you can't tell 31, since the Green Bay's owned by whomever, to go in there and, oh yeah, hey, you guys need to do this. And no, first round pick, that was, like I said, I didn't agree with that either. No, to me, it's just the intent. Like you said, you want to go, and you've been in interviews where that person's looking at you, not going to hire you. We've been in those situations. As good as we know what we are, what we do, and probably no one better at that, I've been in those situations where I'm like, that person's looking at me and they're just like, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Really? Right. We know how it feels to not be taken seriously.
Yeah. And that's what happens during these interviews. And the whole thing is me, just look me in the eye and just give me the respect. Give me the 10 minutes that I came in here for to do my presentation. Even though you may not like, you never know what you're going to get out of it. Just look at it that way. And most of them are, like you said, as you said, these people just showing up late to interviews, they don't care. No. We're not hiring you. We know who our candidate is. That's not fair. But I feel like without the Rooney Rule, there wouldn't be these situations where an open-minded anybody, general manager, someone actually like, wow, this guy actually wowed me. Okay, that he wow. And not saying it's rare, it happens. But then also, these coaches who do get hired, I don't feel like they're given, like you said, Marvin Lewis's are outliers. Certain people are out, like of course Tomlin, but that whole organization is outlier because they've only had 3 coaches. But some places are outlier. That's why your organization, I like the fact that they're loyal to the people that are there. You had a transition from a successful general manager, a black general manager, to the head coach that you hired. Since I've been here longer than the organization has been here, I've seen all these little steps. But they found a guy and they're sticking to it. Lord knows we can't do that. Hell, we can't even spend 2 years finding a good freaking name. So you think I trust these people to bring in good candidates when they can't even think of a name of their organization? Right. Come on.
And then you hear, and this is the thing that frustrates me, where we need to groom back, groom this talent, and we need to have no. The talent is there. There are plenty of qualified candidates, minority candidates in NFL circles. They're just not getting their shot.
No, because again, Adam Gase was hired twice in the same division, and I hate to pick on Adam Gase, but he's Adam Gase, okay? And all these Dan Campbell, who was that guy? You tell me there's not people more qualified out there than him? Kellen Moore, is it getting interviews for what reason? It's just so many things to me that are just, again, just hearing the words. He was hired, I forgot what head coach it was now. It was just a couple of weeks ago. Because this person was hired because he helped Blake Bortles. The fact that you have on your resume that you helped Blake Bortles have a stellar season. First of all, that's never happened. Stellar and Blake Bortles don't go together. Period. So I never want that to ever happen. It does not work. I think it was the offensive coordinator for the Packers. So I mean, come on now. Come on. And usually all these coordinators for these high-powered offenses, like Doug Peterson, like what's his name? I see his face. Haley or something. They were all hired from Kansas City, but the one black offensive coordinator of the high-powered offense they've had.
Right.
I ain't even heard if he's interviewed this season.
Right. He doesn't get any credit. So yeah, so you're thinking of Matt Nagy and Doug Peterson were the two prior offensive coordinators from Kansas City that got hired. Eric Bieniemy can't sniff a job, right?
Yeah.
But
who's calling the plays?
Right, who's calling the plays? Oh, well, he's working with Pat Mahomes. But but Adam Gase is the quarterback whisperer because he worked with Peyton Manning. So it's okay to give him a job, not once, but twice. But we can't give Eric Bieniemy a job. Oh, Byron Leftwich. Oh, he worked with Tom Brady. Okay. And what?
You know who else worked with Peyton Manning and had 2 great seasons with him?
Who's that? Hurt?
Jim Caldwell. And Peyton Manning gets hurt, you give him Curtis Painter, and you fire him.
Right. So it's no excuses, dude. Like you said, look, the playoffs have been over for a week. Eric Bieniemy and Leftwich should have jobs. 2 offensive, because first they said,
honestly, I would take one of them. Should have a job somewhere, at least one. But I mean, but the fact is that they're not gonna be hired. They're not gonna be hired.
It's ridiculous, man. So look, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
All right. How many black coaches in the last 10 years, including this year, so let's say 11 since 2012, how many black head coaches have been hired?
That's 2012.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say, because I'm not good with remembering anything, 10?
Ding, ding, ding. Right on the dot. 10.
Yes.
10.
In 10 years.
In 10 years.
That's so great. That's an average of one a year.
Per year. Yeah. Now,
that's awesome.
We have had 12 minority coaches hired. The Washington football team hired Ron Rivera in 2020. In 2021, the Jets hired Robert Saleh. But other than that, it's been 12 minority coaches hired in the past, including the season, 11 years. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it, especially when there are qualified people out here.
Yep.
So it's just a shame. Something needs to be done. I think this is going to enact change. How do you think this is going to end? How do you think all this is going to end, Hurt?
I feel like it's going to. Honestly, it's weird. I haven't even thought about that, so that's a good question. I don't know. Usually, these lawsuits don't ever go anywhere. It may. I really feel like, what can Goodell do to have them to stop having these sham interviews? I almost feel like something needs to be more transparent somewhere. There needs to be some transparency. Because I don't believe that they are in good conscience bringing these people in for an interview. And maybe Jim Caldwell did. I don't even know. I forgot who Chicago hired, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But he did go in for 2 interviews, but he was never interviewed in Miami. He hasn't been interviewed in New Orleans. Places, especially, to me, Jacksonville. You want somebody who could groom a young quarterback because he's worked with successful quarterbacks. And again, I have no issue with Doug Peterson. I think Doug Peterson is a good hire. So I don't want to say like I'm pooping on Doug Peterson, because I'm not. But Caldwell has success. He's one of the few coaches, mind you, take that 2-14 season out. That dude would be way over 500. He's over 500 with that season. And he's was a winning coach in Detroit history. I mean, come on. He had the best seasons with Matthew Stafford before this year for Matthew Stafford.
Right. It's funny how the two coaches that had the best stretches in their teams for years got fired. You had Caldwell had the best 4-year stretch in Detroit history since what was the coach back in the 90s? What was the coach in the 90s?
Tom
Fonzel. What was his name?
Wayne Fontes.
Wayne Fontes. There we go. Since Wayne Fontes. Then the Dolphins had back-to-back winning seasons since Jay Fiedler played for the Dolphins, and you're gonna fire this guy? Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. So here's the thing, Hurt. This is taking a toll on me personally. I'm really down on the NFL, man. Like I'm really this is messing me up, man. I don't know if I can enjoy the game the same way, man. I don't know. I mean, we'll see next season, but I don't know. I'm just really down. I don't really care about this game. The Super Bowl coming up. I'm more excited about the halftime show. I don't know, man. It's gonna be really hard for me to keep supporting this sport if this is how they're gonna treat people. I'm serious. This is gonna be tough, man.
Yeah, well, they've been doing it for a long time, as we all know, and it's like you said, it's a shame. I believe, and to me, it'd go a long way to see what they do, and I'm going to segue into something else now. But to me, to see where they really stand on stuff is what they do to the owner of the Washington Commanders. Because I'm sick of seeing his face. I'm sick of him talking. I'm sick of him being around the team. He has been a cesspool of controversy, of just all types of stupidity from all the people he brought into the organization, all these yes men, to let me bring to having his wife as CEO. If you're supposed to be in the background, when they did this name thing, which was on 2/2/22.
Okay.
It was Facebook Live. They were, they sent me, I signed up for some stuff. So I knew what the name was the day before, right? So I already knew. But I wanted to see how they were going to do it. If I'm a person who's in lawsuits, who's supposedly done A, B, C, and D, and the team name comes up, and we have this big thing that we're going to do, but your name is going around in controversy, in lawsuits, and the government is looking into you. Let me ask you, Brian, what would you're the owner of this team. You put your wife in as the CEO, but you own the team. You're coming out with a press conference. Who would you send out to do the press conference for this new era for the team?
Well, I mean, if my wife is the CEO, she's going out there.
Yeah, where would you be?
Nowhere near any.
So the first face I shouldn't see in this supposedly new era of stuff is your stupid face. The first person, that bearded bastard's face, came up on stage first with a new jacket. What do you do? You freaking idiot. This jerk, this dumbass wants to come out here as the first face of this new thing, all happy and like, hey, this is a new era. Then why are you still there? Why are you still there? He's in another lawsuit. And in this lawsuit, somewhere I saw it's up to him. He has a vote to say whether it goes public. How? How do you have a say about if what you did goes public or not? What kind of NFL garbage is that? That's where I'm coming from. That's why this league is trash in a lot of ways. Yes, their on-field product is great and they're the top revenue, blah, blah, blah. But how their owners get away with stuff like this is what makes me sick. And when you have a bunch of owners like him, because they do, this is what happens. This is what happens. He shouldn't have even been able to be there. No one's calling him and say, hey, you're doing an unveiling tomorrow, Dan. Stay the hell out of the damn way, please.
Right.
Let your wife handle everything. You don't even need to answer questions. No, he's the first person to come up there. Dude, you're in a lawsuit. You supposedly grab some chick's leg. You don't care. They don't care because you're being protected. They protect these jerks, man. Come on. That's why I don't even care about the name. It's him. It's him. He sullies this organization. And he gets it, and where was it? He gets to say whether this goes out in the public or not. Come on now. He makes me physically ill when I see him. And I thought I only felt that way about Michael Irvin. And I feel this way about the owner of the team that I'm supposed to love. I can't stand his face. I don't like him at all. He's a jerk. I don't want him there. And that's what I'm talking about. He needs to be forced to sell that team. He has brought nothing but shame between the stadium, which is absolute dog pile, to the management of the team, to all the other things with the cheerleaders and everything else. No one has brought this amount of controversy to all this until Brian Flores saying, people might have been paid for stuff, and Hugh Jackson came out with stuff. Until then, even at that point, Daniel Snyder's got to come out and do something else or be involved in something. He's been nothing but a problem. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, let's say we get rid of Dan Snyder. If these allegations are true with Stephen Ross, he's got to go too. They sell their team, and hey, man, we can get some minority ownership up in here.
It makes me sick. Like I said, the name is the name. We're the Cobra Commanders. There's been a lot of memes that have helped me get through this. We're the Commodores, Cobra Commanders. Of course, as everybody know, no one ever says the whole Buccaneers. They say Bucks. No one says Timberwolves. They say Wolves. So the shortening of Commanders would be what? Commies. So we're the Washington Commies.
So I was wondering, with this new name, how you gonna sing the fight song now?
No, the fan and this. Oh yeah, thank you for bringing that up. To all my fellow Washington fans who bleed burgundy and gold, who love this team, they have the most loyal, brainwashed fan base of almost any organization in sport. They support this team through everything. And you notice someone like me who's loved this team since I was like 7 years old. I can't support this team. How many games have I been to down there? One.
I was about to say only one that I know of.
Only one. And it's because somebody bought me the tickets. It was a gift. The stadium is garbage. I can't support this owner. I may go buy, if I see a Washington Cobra Commander shirt, I'm buying that. But it's sad because they were down there, had a little parade. They opened up the team store. These people went crazy. They got their commander, like the next day on Twitter, TikTok, everybody's got their commander stuff, all excited. They created a new song. It was like 5 people that created a new song. It was terrible. Oh. Never even wanted. Like, it was corny. It was horrible. It needed to be burnt. It needed to be destroyed. It's just terrible. I don't want to be on this too long. But what they do and how they handle, to me, this Daniel Snyder thing will go a long way, honestly, with how they handle just ownership problems and these interviews for minority candidates in the future. You have to get rid of the garbage in order to move ahead. We have to get rid of the garbage, but it's just sickening. And honestly, I wanted to talk about, the name more. I really don't care. I really don't care. I like the Washington football team. The Commanders is stupid. It's dumb. I don't like it. But they wanted to sell shirts. They wanted to make money. The only thing I even liked about it was the little insignia that they had. Let me go to my little share screen for a second. Like that's the only thing about it. I like just share the screen. Why not click on this stuff? Would be that right there. I like that. The way that it looked, the colors, that's perfectly fine. The uniforms, I don't know. I hope I didn't click on the wrong one. I don't want to click on his face. Uniforms, I don't like the W. Why does the W look like blocks? I don't know who said that this was okay. The burgundy color, I like the color. That's fine. This black one with that little there, not a real big fan of that one.
No.
White one kind of looks like the 49ers to me. Not really big fan. Not a really big fan of that either. So this is what I got to deal with. Like I said, the only thing I liked was that. That was cool. Like I like that. I totally had no issues with that at all.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but then there's this. The players seem to like it, and like I said, the badge is cool. To me, the part I like the most is the badge. That's about it. Everything else.
Can I see that badge again?
Yeah. Oh, you mean not that one? No. And it has all our titles on it, by the way, because we actually included the ones before there was the Super Bowl.
That's slick.
So, because there was stuff before the Super Bowl. And the Packers aren't the only ones that get to say it. But when I see my guys in the uniforms, it makes me feel better because we got Allen here, got Chase, we got McLaren. They look good in the uniforms. I just don't know if I like that. Look at this Washington Commanders. Just listen to the sound of it. The Washington Commanders. Like 2 years, that's the best name you came up with. Now I know nowadays people name their kids something weird like that, so I can't really complain too much. But come on now. That's the best you could do. I could have designed something better than that. I can't draw.
The Washington commas?
That's what Soapy came up with, the commas.
Yeah.
It need to be the commas.
Yeah.
Or exclamation points, whatever. But yeah, the commas. I want to be commas than commies. But again, just the hubris of this guy to even come out and start the press conference and talk about everything, getting all the old Washington guys to come out and Doug and Joe Theismann, it just makes me ill. It just makes me ill. And it's a team story. They went crazy. Look at these people. These are they're brain. I love them. I do love them. This is out of love. You cannot support this guy. You're not supporting the team. They're not getting, the guys aren't getting, McLaren's not getting that money and that coming from that t-shirt. And look at that. Why is that W cut off? I don't like it. Look at this dude. I mean, I know it was cold that day. He's got the whole thing going on. Hey, in the team store, like they're selling like hotcakes. They got, Joe, look at everybody. Got a little Letterman jacket on. Let's all talk, everybody. I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame. This is the Joker Twitter all week. Like I said, some of them, the Commodores and everything, I thoroughly have enjoyed that. But the one person who's laughing at all this and who's doesn't even have to worry about beating the Washington Commanders anymore will be one Tom Brady. So Mr. Tom Brady decided to call it a day, officially retired from the NFL. Give me your thoughts on Tom Brady and his career and how much you liked him.
The best I ever seen. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. He's the GOAT. Yeah.
He's the GOAT.
He's the best I ever seen, dude. I mean, what can you say? The dude's been in 10 Super Bowls? Yep. Countless AFC and NFC championship games, countless Super Bowl MVP. I mean, what, dude? I mean, whatever you have to say, dude. He's done it all, dude. He's the best. He's the best I've ever seen, dude. He's the best we've ever seen.
Yeah, I can't sit here and take that from him.
And on his way out, he only had a message for one quarterback, and he told him he was next. And that was Lamar Jackson. So if the GOAT says it, it's got to be true.
Yeah, he doesn't eat bread either. So,
Hey.
And he does Subway commercials. So.
Hey, if the GOAT says it, it's got to be true, man.
Didn't want to go there. But Tom, 7 Super Bowl wins. The dude, the best winner of all time, basically, right? 10 Super Bowls. He's been to more Super Bowls than most franchises. You got to think about how where New England was and where they got to when Drew Bledsoe got knocked out of that game. And no one knew this little skinny kid from Michigan was going to come in there and win a Super Bowl. I mean, think about it. He's been around long enough to beat the St. Louis Rams and the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, this guy, think about it, he beat the team from same team from 2 different locations.
Yeah, that's true. I never realized that, but you are absolutely correct.
I mean, so he's done it all. He's seen it all. The game. I'm not going to miss him beating my teams up, but it's to see his whole career and everything that he's done in his career, and he's almost like the Phil Mickelson of football to me now, because he started off, I couldn't stand him, didn't like him, a little too arrogant, I don't know who he thinks he is, to this guy's actually okay. Yeah, he seems to be like a good guy. He's joking around. He's seems a little bit way more humble than I thought he was.
Yeah, we just had to get him out of New England.
Yeah, and this always seemed like it took. He got out of New England, suddenly had a personality. He had jokes. He's on TV shows, chilling with Peyton and Eli. Just sitting there like, Peyton, I love playing against you. I hate playing against your brother. And, and Eli's like, well, I love playing against you. Just having jokes like that. It was pretty cool. So it's, he again, he's the epitome of a winning quarterback. And you cannot take seven Super Bowls away from this guy. So hope he enjoys his retirement. He deserves it. His team did well. But, going out, just win a Super Bowl a year before you retire, man. But, it's good in his time. But I know Ben was sitting there like, well, I guess I ain't headlining anymore. Nope. But, it's going to be a good class. It's going to be a good class of quarterbacks. So congratulations to Tom. And, I definitely hope you enjoy it, man. So good for him.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. God. But as an outsider, we're going to go back to this real quick. As an outsider, no one has. I know you know me. You went to school down in PG County, which is a huge Washington territory. What are your thoughts on this whole? I'm trying not to. I know you have your own thoughts, so I can't change your thoughts. It takes usually years. But what are your thoughts on this debacle, this travesty, or whatever it is? What's the naming of the team, just the whole thing that
I feel indifferent. I don't think I texted you and you pretty much felt how I felt. I don't think it's the worst name they could have picked.
No, Brigade would have been worse, but still.
Yeah, I don't think it was the worst name, but it's certainly in the best name either. It's okay. It's whatever. The good thing is the Redskins name is gone. I think I would have probably preferred Defenders. If they were going to go with a 3-syllable name, I think I probably would have went with Defenders. But Commanders it's whatever. It is what it is. Like I said, it's just a lot of syllables, man. The Washington Commanders. Woof.
A lot. It's like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's why they're just called the Bucks. There's a lot of teams that have, again, my team's the New York Metropolitans. Luckily, we shorted it to the Mets.
To the Mets, right.
But it's just, and like I said, Defenders, I don't like anything except for Washington football team and Red Wolves. And since we couldn't have once I found out we couldn't have Red Wolves, I knew I would hate anything else that they had. Armadas, Defenders, Commanders, monuments, presidents, legislature, constitutions, whatever that they decided to make, I knew I wouldn't like. So, but just from the outside, I just kind of wanted to see what you thought. Because like you said, like I remember when they were going to name Baltimore and they went through that whole process. But again, they did get that correct because they took something from the city in which they're in and made it their own. And that's worked out for them. So there's that. But yeah, this Commanders garbage is, but it's there. It's not gonna change. It's gonna be to the end of time. So this name will long surpass me. So, but it is what it is. Hopefully Daniel Snyder's career as owner will not. And in my lifetime, I hope to see that he's gone. So yeah, I think I almost forgot. Speaking about your team, you got a new president. New president was hired that you had taken, had you stolen in the middle of the night like a thief. You decided to take this man from the Wizards. How dare you, sir? How dare you take from the Wizards and the Mystics and the Capitals and bring upon this president? How dare you try to weaken DC, you Baltimorean? How dare you, sir? How dare you?
Yeah.
No, talk about your president who's returning back to the AFC North.
Yeah. Sashi Brown. I saw this. I was like, saw the alert, and it said that he was getting a front office position. I was like, wait a minute. I know he was the GM for
the Browns.
For the Browns. I'm like, wait a minute. Is Eric DeCosta taking another job? That's what I thought immediately. But no, Dick Castle's he's been Steve Bisciotti's right-hand man from the beginning. He's retiring as president of the team. So Sashi Brown will be moving in. I mean, I guess it's a good move. I like to see one thing.
Up 95.
Yeah, and one thing the Ravens, one thing the Ravens aren't afraid of is having African Americans in high-level management positions. I mean, they were the first team to have a black GM with Ozzie Newsome. And now they have a black president, Sashi Brown. So, yeah, man, I think he'll be a good fit.
No, yeah, definitely. He's been in the area. He was a football guy, so he's been involved in football for a long time before he went down to become president for the Wizards and the Mystics and that organization and their ownership. So and like you said, the guy Dick Cass turned 76, is retiring. Why not get somebody that has some experience?
Yeah.
So congratulations to him and your team for hiring him.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, the Capital City Go-Go will need a new president as well. So you have anything else, man?
Nah, man. I think I got everything off my chest that I wanted to talk about today, man.
Listen, Jaden, man, stop trashing people. I don't even know who's Jaden. Who's your basketball team anyway? I don't even know who it is. And Bradley Beal's not trash. The Wizards are, but Bradley Beal's not. So that's just not nice. Jaden is coming with some hot stuff. I just should be happy your Rams are in the Super Bowl. You have, by the way, are you since you have like 7 teams anyway, Jaden. But in saying that, you having like a Super Bowl party? You have like a Rams jersey? Like, are you superstitious, or you're not gonna watch? You're gonna have your back turned, or like, what are you gonna do? I mean, because obviously he likes Matthew Stafford. Your uncle is a whole different story. But I just root for Chris Paul. Okay, that's cool. I really just root. I root for the Knicks, since I'm from New York, and LeBron. That's it. Who will not win another title? And I said that a couple of years ago. But I want Chris Paul to win. I really do. Even though Phoenix destroyed the Wizards last night, I really, really want Chris Paul to win.
I don't know if that's going to happen, but
they were in the finals last year, so and they still got a really good team now. Golden State's a lot better this season, so we'll see. But yeah, that's it, man. That felt good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I needed to get that Daniel Snyder. I guess he's not coming over for the game. Yes, he's not coming over for the game. Yeah, listen. Well, if you bought him a cherry pie, they may have won. No, but thank you everybody for listening and tuning in today. It's been crazy. I'm just glad I got that Daniel Snyder stuff off my chest. Still angry at him, but we'll see how they handle it.
Real quick before you sign off,
Mhm.
will a black head coach be hired this year in the NFL? Yes or no?
No.
I'll say yes.
Well, we're okay. Well, with who?
Houston.
That's the only place. I was gonna say if it was, it'd go to Houston. They just had one. I don't know how they treated him. That's the only place though. I don't see one in Miami or New Orleans. I really don't. But we'll see.
Yep.
All right. But thank you everybody for tuning in on StreamYard and YouTube, for subscribing and liking us. Thank you. And like Jaden, when you come in, you can when you subscribe, you come in and have and be part of the show and really appreciate it. We're also on the IG, Facebook, and the Twitter. And of course, we tweet all week, and we're definitely gonna be tweeting during the Super Bowl. And of course, we're on Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you find podcasts, you will find us, the NY to MD podcast. Thank you, everybody. Be safe, and we will see you on Super Bowl Sunday.
Peace out, y'all.
Oh, and good luck to Senegal today as they play Egypt in the African Cup of Nations. So good luck to them.
Peace.